Have you ever felt that inexplicable exhaustion after talking to someone? That weight, as if somehow your energy had been drained? Maybe you've crossed paths with an energy vampire. And no, I'm not talking about mystical, nocturnal creatures that suck blood, but real people who, unknowingly, drain our vitality, and the worst part is, often these people are so close to us that we don't even realize what's happening. But don't worry, today we'll learn how to identify these energy vampires and, more importantly, how to protect ourselves from them. Energy vampires are people who, intentionally or not, absorb our vital energy. They are like those mysterious figures in horror movies, but instead of feeding on blood, they feed on our disposition, peace, and good mood. This happens because, at some point in their lives, they lost the ability to connect with natural energy sources, like the sun, nature, or even simple spiritual practices, and begin to feed on the energy of others to keep themselves alive. Imagine that you are a fully charged battery, and this person is like a broken charger. They try, but can never recharge themselves properly, so they turn to you. What's interesting is that, most of the time, they don't even know they're doing this. To them, the behavior is simply part of their routine. Identifying these vampires can be challenging, especially because, in many cases, they are people close to us. Let's look at some common characteristics of these energy suckers. Here are some types you might encounter. The collector. This is the famous energy taker. They are always expecting something from you. A call, a visit, a favor, and if you don't meet their expectations, you'll feel the weight of crushing guilt. They are masters at making you feel responsible for everything. But remember, when they ask, it's also time for you to ask something back. Don't let them into your energy. The critic. This type never has a kind word for you. It's always a negative comment, a destructive critique. If you can, stay away. These vampires love to see the world through a negative lens and do everything to drag you into their vision. Respond with kindness, but firmly, and avoid engaging in their game. The complainer. The professional complainer. This person is always on the brink of despair, seeking attention and pity. Every conversation turns into a drama of suffering. They may start with something light, but suddenly, you find yourself buried in their story. If you realize that you always leave the conversation more exhausted than when you entered, it's a clear sign you're being drained. The clingy one. That person who is always trying to get too close to you in an invasive way. They invade your space, either physically or emotionally. They might do this with affection, sweet words, or gestures that make you feel uncomfortable. The tip here is, get away as quickly as possible. Once you realize you're being pulled into this game, escape before your energy is drained. These are just a few examples of the types of energy vampires we might encounter. But the truth is, often they disguise themselves as friends, family, or close colleagues, and we only realize the impact after some time. The key is to notice the signs. If you feel exhausted, guilty, or devalued after interacting with someone, it might be time to take a step back. Many places can also serve as traps for the work of these and other types of vampires. Large crowds at certain types of events, like concerts, games, or protests, can be a stage for this kind of practice. It's always worth staying alert to the places we frequent and identifying the kind of energy we're sharing and contributing to. Now that we know what they are and how to identify them, let's talk about how to protect ourselves from these vampires. Here are some practical tips to help you keep your energy intact. 1. Set boundaries. Saying no can be one of the most powerful weapons against energy vampires. It's not selfish, it's self-care. Don't feel guilty about prioritizing your well-being. Be assertive and clear with your limits. For example, if someone starts asking too much of you or criticizing too much, calmly say, "I can't commit to that right now." Establish what is acceptable and what is not. 2. Strengthen your personal energy. Practices like meditation, yoga, gratitude, and even walks in nature are ways to reconnect with your own energy source. When you're at peace with yourself, it becomes much harder to be affected by others' negativity. Look for ways to balance your emotions and cultivate positive thoughts. 3. Use energy protection techniques. There are many ways to protect your energy. Herbal baths, like rosemary or lavender, can cleanse negative energies. Crystals like rose quartz or amethyst are known for their ability to protect the aura. Also, walking barefoot in nature or peaceful places can help reconnect your energy with natural sources. 4. Practice self-compassion. Often, we allow ourselves to be drained because we don't know how to say no, or because we're in an emotionally fragile state. When you treat yourself with kindness and compassion, you learn to recognize the value of your energy and how much it needs to be protected. Remember, you are not here to serve as a source of energy for others. 5. Apply the non-engagement law. If someone starts spitting a series of criticisms or complaints, don't engage in the conversation. Don't get emotionally involved, simply listen. But don't absorb. If the conversation starts getting too heavy, it's perfectly valid to change the subject or even walk away. Don't feel obligated to be the savior of the situation all the time. Now that you know how to identify and protect yourself from energy vampires, it's time to put these tips into practice. Protect your energy, set healthy boundaries, and remember, you are the only one responsible for maintaining your balance. Don't let others drain your energy. By focusing on yourself, your needs, and what makes you feel good, you create a natural barrier against these energy suckers. Did you like this content? If so, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more videos on spirituality, self-awareness, and personal development. See you in the next video.